What is the easiest and fastest way to win a game in League of Legends? Well, it's obviously not destroying the Nexus by yourself, since this might take some time. It's way faster to make these apes tilt and make them commit for an FF15 vote to destroy their Nexus by themselves. Since most League of Legends players don't have any kind of dignity and go AFK when you ping them once. Or when something doesn't go the way they imagine. To achieve this mental breakdown, you don't have to do more than to destroy their game plan. The easiest way to do this is by killing the enemies multiple times in the first minutes. Okay, I made that one up. In order to succeed this, we need an easy and strong early game champion that can 1v1 anyone early game. Xin Zhao mid. And here is how to dominate the early game with him. You might wonder, why are we going to play him on the mid lane? First of all, on the mid lane we have the most impact, since we can easily gank other lanes and get some kills. The truth is that Xin Zhao is one of the strongest 1v1 champions, so you can also fight the jungler and contest the top or bot river Scuttle Crab. The third reason is the fact that most people play control mages on the mid lane. They are really easy to kill early game and can't fight back. Top laners are too strong, and the bot lane has a second idiot you have to share the XP with. But CVK, there are also other strong 1v1 champions on the mid lane. Why it has to be Xin Zhao? Well, since none of them are so easy as him, as you will acknowledge later in this video. Also, most champions don't have a gap closer. When they have one, it is quite hard to hit, so they get poked down quite easily. Xin Zhao has a point and click gap closer and also a lot of sustain on his passive. I think these are enough reasons to play him on the mid lane. Now I will show you how to make kills early game. At level 1 you want to make sure to skill your E first. This is a point and click gap closer spell. You dash towards the enemy and your attack damage increases. Since you also take Hail of Blades with you, the health bar of your opponent should even melt faster. Xin Zhao's passive grants every third auto attack bonus damage and heals him by a certain amount. So when you auto attack the minion wave twice, you can jump on the enemy with your E spell to proc the third auto attack on the enemy, and with the additional attack speed you can easily activate your passive a second time, dealing even more damage. Already at level 1 you can show the enemy who is in charge of this lane. When the enemy respects you and keeps some distance with annoying poke, you can just auto attack some minions and gain some HP back. Xin Zhao has a great sustain with his passive. At level 2 he unlocks the spear poke, marking the enemy with it, which increases the dash range of your E spell. This way you can even hit higher range champions like Xerath and force them into a 1v1 fight. However, you want to use your W ability more like a spell to finish the enemy off. You dash in with your E and auto attack them with your Hail of Blades and finish off the kill. Once the enemy is marked, I wouldn't recommend to jump towards them right away. Most of the time you can bait out flashes or other kind of dashes, and when they think they are safe, you just dash towards them and prove them wrong. When you hit level 3, Xin Zhao unlocks a new combo. Activating your Q spell causes the next 3 auto attacks to deal some additional damage. The third attack knocks up the enemy, giving you more time to punch into their ugly face. However, you don't have to hit the enemy 3 times to knock them up. When you hit the wave 2 times, after activating your Q you can just jump to the enemy and knock them up with the next auto attack. So the third Q strike is a guaranteed knock-up, giving the enemy no chance to escape from your combo. But since most mages are so immobile, you can just engage on them with a normal W into E combo and you still have enough time to hit them 3 times. Ignite will do the last bit to make your play perfect. Wait, you really want to gank me, a early game monster at level 2? Okay, no problem, just wait until my spells are up again. Here goes the first one. And here goes the second one. If you keep running away you like to play Vayne top. When you are level 2 and still haven't unlocked your Q spell yet, just make sure to ignite the enemy when you dash towards them to secure a kill. Bro, are you a torch or something, or why aren't you dying? Even though you are a strong early game champion, sometimes there are moments you should forget about getting a kill. Just like this Zed forgetting that something called turret exists. This horrible play might have caused a trauma by him, which resulted into a depressive Zed committing suicide right away after seeing me. But you don't have to one-shot the enemy when your damage is too low, since you can just pretend like you are retreating while you are waiting for your cooldowns to re-engage to remind them that you are in charge of this lane. As long as the clock hasn't passed the 25-minute mark. Just keep in mind that Xin Zhao has a disengage tool, so the last option when you are in a doomed position is to go for a 1-for-1 trade. At level 3 or 4, the time when the enemy jungler is at the Scuttle Crab, you should pack your things and go there as well. Since most of the time the enemy jungler is low on HP and Xin Zhao wins nearly every 1v1 fight. You can just go and collect a free Scuttle Crab, a free jungler with 300 gold and a red and blue buff. And obviously you can support your jungler contesting the crab. At level 6 Xin Zhao unlocks his ultimate. Bruh. Well, when you are not an idiot, Xin Zhao should have his ultimate at level 6, which makes him even stronger for 1v1 fights. He challenges an enemy he dealt damage recently and knocks all the other players away from the area. Xin Zhao also becomes immune towards spells and auto attacks from champions that are standing outside the circle. You also deal additional damage. It can be used to dive into the enemy team to one-shot the carry as fast as possible and run as fast as possible. Last but not least, it can also be used for additional damage at the end of a 1v1 fight to finish the enemy off. What's your problem? That was clearly a 1v1 fight. You should always look for other lanes and make plays outside of your lane when your opponent is playing safe, since you can't farm or push the wave properly with Xin Zhao. So you should be permanently looking for fights to snowball so you are able to deal some damage late game. That's why I went right away to the bot lane to introduce myself as the guy that will gank the shit out of them. Sometimes when you go for a gank on other lanes you can coincidentally find a jungler doing an objective by himself, but since I'm against animal abuse, I had to slaughter the jungler instead. Damn, even Bambi turned into a psychopath killing animal in his own forest. Don't worry. I'm going to send you back to your mother. Once the laning phase is over and the enemy somehow still hasn't given up, you have to stick to your game plan. In the best case scenario, you were able to kill your laning opponent several times.
Hey, that's pretty good.
This means you should have about 4 to 5 kills in total. Since Xin Zhao's strength is not the team fight, you should avoid them at any cost. With his single target damage, you should look out for 1v1 fights, but don't split push with him, since his wave clear sucks. When there is no other option left than to teamfight, you should straight dive towards the enemy hyper carry and one-shot them. With the WE combo, most enemies in the back are easily reachable for Xin Zhao, and with his ultimate he can push away the other opponents and become immune against damage from outside the circle. So no matter how behind you are, with Xin Zhao you can still kill most carries. The more kills you get, the faster they die. The problem is that Xin Zhao doesn't have any kind of disengage spells. So once you are inside the enemy team, you can't get out. So you are diving into the enemy team securing 1 or 2 kills to die immediately afterwards. And if you want to know why a role pick like Nasus support can actually work, click on this video right here.